And now, your mama knows.
Glad everybody can make it. So we picked up some topics. I ran it past a lot of y'all. A lot of y'all agreed. So I want to touch on old cartoons first. We talked about some of it a little bit, but now that everybody's here, let's bring everybody in. I know Thundercats came up.
Hell yes.
Well, I mean,
Hold up,
original Thundercats was
what's
fire.
the topic? What's the topic?
Old cartoons.
Old cartoon.
You're almost done. Click the blue.
I remember Thundercats being one of my favorite. I was a huge Ninja Turtles fan.
Ooh.
Silverhawks.
Oh, Silverhawks. You know what? That it's funny because all those cartoons, they had to be by the same studio. Because it was Silverhawks.
They definitely are.
It was Silverhawks. It was Thundercats. It was what else? There was at least one more.
No, yeah, it was the Sharks. What was the Sharks one called?
Street Sharks.
Street Sharks?
Street Sharks.
Battletoads.
Yo, who remembers Top Cat?
I do.
Top Cat. I remember that.
Yeah, classic.
No, but here's the question. Are we just discussing them, or are we going to say which one was our favorite?
Wouldn't that be part of the discussion?
Okay.
Well, I just feel like it was open-ended.
I need y'all help. I'm trying to think of
Well,
this
Mike
one.
brought
Think
this.
of
This
one.
was
And
a
I'm
topic
trying,
Mike introduced. So let Mike talk about it.
and I couldn't Google it because I couldn't think of the name of it, but it was the fuck. He was a sheriff, and he had the horse.
Brave Star.
Yo,
Brave
Star.
Star.
Yeah, Brave Star.
Yeah, come on, man.
Get it together, man.
Speed of the Puma.
Right?
That was a
Strength
good
of a
one.
bear.
I was actually watching something on YouTube, and they were talking about how cartoons were nothing more than marketing tools for toys back in the day.
They were.
He
Hey, Franco, we
was
would
a
know
toy
from
that started
stealing
off.
toys from McCory's.
Hey, Big Boss, baby, how you doing?
I said we would know from, and let me change that. Craig stealing toys from McCory's.
Nah, brother, the statute of limitation is passed. We definitely were stealing toys from McCory's.
Hey, McCory's ain't in business no more, so.
McCory's over on Oakland Avenue.
Yes, sir.
I miss that place.
Yes, sir.
You're not going to be quiet while I'm on this call, so go in the hallway or another room. Sorry, my little minion came in.
Just to give y'all a heads up, I've been told we have till 6 o'clock because Mary's making prime rib and I need to be ready when it's ready.
Fair enough. Well, that gives us a good amount of time.
I done made my ribs already.
Mary.
I was outside on the grill before it got cold.
So let's run down the line real quick since it was brought up. What was your favorite cartoon from back in the day?
All right, where do you start?
Let's start with Mike.
Yes, he brought it up.
I'm gonna say, well, we going from top 5 or top 3?
No, just pick your
just
number
pick
one.
Your number one.
My number one, I would say Thundercats.
Wow, and why?
I don't know. To me, I just like the Thundercats. I was big into cats back then, like the big cats. I was always watching Discovery Channel and shit like that. So I was watching animals, predators, and stuff. So I was in tune to like big cats. So when Thundercats came, I was like, yo, that's it. And then plus Lionel being the leader, and he's a Leo because he's the lion, and me being Leo, I was like, yo, that's me. That's all the way.
There's so many holes in that, but I'm gonna leave that alone.
That might be.
Zodiac sign and everything. Lionel being a Leo.
Have a good night, Big Boss son.
Kim, did you have a favorite cartoon as a kid?
Yeah, 100%. The X-Men from the 90s. Like that.
Oh, that Fox Kids X-Men.
Yes.
Yes, that was the truth.
You turn that theme on now anywhere where there's people our age, and everybody's gonna start.
Everybody knows.
Yep.
Hold on, let me interject something into Kim's X-Men. You ain't even gotta specify which era it's from, because if you say X-Men cartoon, we only recognize
X-Men. I know that's the only one that's recognized.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah, that's serious.
And I'm even showing Natalie it now.
Wolverine and the X-Men. I didn't watch that, so
and there was the X-Men Evolution too that was trash.
Yeah, we messed with that.
But I mean, that opened my eyes to like the X-Men universe. It got me into comic books and made me nerdish girl. Come on.
Remember, I'm still a big comic book fan, but I was huge on X-Men. And when that cartoon came out, I think I was probably real skeptical at first. Oh, this is gonna suck. It's not gonna be anywhere near as good as the comic books.
It's
But that
probably one of the
cartoon,
closest adaptations ever.
well, not even that close adaptation. It actually made me start looking at comic book based things from a different point of view. Because it made me look at it like, yo, this could literally be like just an alternate version of it because it was so good.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm gonna say about that?
Good.
I remember I went to your house and I was reading because you were real skeptical about people touching your X-Men comic books. But I was
He's still
reading,
skeptical about anybody touching the comic
Still.
book. What you talking about?
I was reading it and I'm looking at it, I was like, yo, they had this one in the series. They had this in the series. They had this in the series. And it was actually following the book. And I was
Yep.
like, yo,
They just they tweak it a little bit for the
they
show,
did.
Right, yeah.
but they followed a lot of the storylines like almost dead on.
Yeah, that was a hot show. Eugene,
Yo,
your favorite cartoon from back in the day.
Captain Planet.
Thank you. I know, like we really need to ask.
You know what's cool is he sticks to that too, man. I give him credit.
God
yo.
does.
He's-
also
He will
like
ride
Doug
his
also.
bullshit to the end, and you know it.
Yes.
He said I also watch Doug.
Doug, he
Doug
said
was
Doug.
good. I remember Nickelodeon cartoons. They was all right.
Yeah.
Which cartoon was it? I'm sorry, I got cut off for a second.
A Captain Planet and
Captain
Doug.
Planet, of course.
Was it
Yeah,
Captain
but-
Planet?
Yeah, Gene, tell us why you like Captain Planet so
The
much.
hero.
You know why?
He's going to take
for
Pluto
some
down
reason
to
that
zero.
for some reason that show had 80s campiness to it that I just
It
love
had
about
heart.
cartoons. And he was also
It
one
had
of the
Earth
superheroes that you
too.
don't see that
What?
often.
Fire.
It was just there was something about that show that just had like a weird charm to it.
Let our powers combine.
I am Captain Planet.
Hold on. I don't want to rant on his parade, right? But I always had a problem with Captain Planet for one thing.
What was that?
That he combined their powers, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's all cool. But y'all can't tell me that kid with the heart ring didn't piss you off.
My tea. Listen,
I hated
my tea
him.
needed to go somewhere.
When they did the Don Tito version, they got him just right.
That was the best thing to come
That
out of
shit
Captain
was
Planet
hilarious.
was the Don Cheadle version. That shit was amazing.
Free.
You're a tree. You're a tree.
Oh shit!
That shit was
Yeah.
great.
Eugene, I know
Monty,
that's your favorite
yo.
cartoon, but I'm sorry, as a true superhero fan, pardon my language, but your Captain Planet as a good superhero is a bitch. You could beat him with a bottle of motor oil.
For real.
Oh, shit, it's Captain Planet. Hit him with a garbage can. He'd be like, ugh.
Listen, it can't be much worse than Green Lantern.
You apparently don't really understand Green Lantern as a comic book character.
Yeah, but I thought
He's
isn't,
talking about the
isn't
old Green Lantern.
I'm about to say, isn't his weakness just a color?
The color yellow, the old
Yeah.
Green Lantern.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, but you know what's funny? DC made sure that they fucking retconned that shit. They said,
Yeah, they
let's
did.
explain. It
Yeah,
isn't
they
the
did.
color yellow. It's the
Right.
yellow lanterns because of his fear. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
I
But I
love it
remember
when
that
comic
shit.
books
Not-
realize they put a super plot hole in something. It's like, oh, like they did with Spawn. I was explaining to somebody the other day. It was like, doesn't his power eventually gonna die? I was like, in the beginning. And they was like, no.
But then they do something where it ticked down to like 1 and then just stopped.
Right, yeah. Then they that had nothing to do with it anymore. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
for real?
remember that.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to have a conversation about Spawn one of these days. I did not know
Yeah.
that.
I didn't either. I
Yeah, they
thought
got
that
rid of
his
that,
power
yeah.
was going and he'd go back to Mount Bosia.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So, Dub, your favorite cartoon from back in the day?
One shall stand, one
Ah,
shall
God,
fall.
you
God.
knew it.
Yo, listen, man. As a kid, Transformers it literally gave you a whole. Again, GoBots was out first, but then when Transformers came out, it did it right. And as a kid, it just really gave you like being into Optimus, like he's that super leader, and Megatron's the super bad guy,
And he
you
was
got
a
all
really
the-
good bad guy. Like,
Yeah, he
Megatron
was, and then even
mm.
Starscream. You gotta give Starscream his credit, and I feel like those
That was my favorite.
characters, like
That
as
was
a
my
kid,
favorite.
that cartoon had so many characters that was done good. And then the 1986 movie was probably all time one of probably the best. If you add your favorite movies,
No. Again, let me correct you on that. Just like I told Kim, you ain't got to say the 1986 movie was probably one of the 1986 movie was the best
Transformers
animated movie.
Oh yeah.
Of all
Well,
time.
I wasn't even
followed by G.I. Joe.
No, I wasn't even gonna say cartoon movies. I was gonna say or the Transformers series. I was gonna say overall when I think of like what's one of my favorite movies. If you allow cartoons to be in the category, Transformers the movie.
Yeah,
man,
absolutely.
You can still sit down and watch that shit right now, and it's still.
I have it on Blu-ray. I will sit down and watch that.
Let me
shit
tell
today.
y'all something. I remember going to see Transformers the movie in theaters. I went to the movie theater at Quaker Bridge Mall.
Yep.
Oh, Lord.
Across from time now.
Babysitter and her little sister. And I remember in the movie theater, the Death of Optimus Prime scene, watching half the movie theater get up and walk out.
Yeah.
The parents had to go get their money back because the fucking kids were traumatized.
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember crying in that movie when he died.
That didn't happen when I went. I mean, it's funny. Transformers is one I can count everything I did with my dad on one hand, and that was one of them. He actually took me to see Transformers in theaters, and I fell in love. I mean, I've already loved Transformers, but my all-time favorite cartoon is probably Transformers as well. And yeah, like it was eye-opening to me. You heard it was the first time I heard someone curse in a cartoon.
Yeah.
I was like, word?
Cartoons say bad words too.
That was
the first time you probably seen
that movie on Disney Plus.
Ultra Magnus.
Why would
Yeah, they
no,
edited it out on Disney.
It's not on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
That was
Disney
one
Plus
of the
doesn't
first times
own
you seen cartoons
Transformers.
die too. Was when they first
Like
burst in the
Flat Out
ship and Megatron transformed
Oh
and
my
Starscream
God,
just
you just
blasted
busting
everywhere. You was
them
like,
down.
Wasted him.
yeah,
You know what's
I like
crazy
it.
though? That movie established like this crazy plot hole in Transformers 2 that everybody always wanted to buy. The fact that Megatron was probably one of the most powerful weapons in the entire series.
Yeah, absolutely.
Only in the movie did they really show how fucking powerful he was.
If real quick, if this meeting ends, I'll start a new one real fast.
Okay.
Zoom
just give
is
us a
not
heads up.
completely free.
Yeah, just give us a heads up, and then we'll just stop.
40-minute
We'll stop speaking, and we'll pick back up where we left off.
All right.
Okay.
But Kim, what about you?
Yeah, I already said mine was the 90s.
Yeah,
the X-Men.
it's Franco.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
X-Men.
Franco.
I'm not important. I don't matter.
You do matter.
Trying to say.
So, I have a very eclectic taste. I watched so many old cartoons back in the day, but I think probably one of my Transformers is up there. I was probably going to say Transformers, but
Right.
following close behind that is like a ties too. The main one, though, I'll say, and if we talk about anything else, I'll bring other one, is Thundar the Barbarian.
Oh wow!
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
Obsessed with what the fuck?
What up, John? You got your audio working?
Oh no, I just unmuted because I'm at work.
He come on there looking like some old scary
Blue
shit.
screen.
Yeah, for real.
I thought it was the ring coming. I was
Like a
about to
fucked
turn my
up Dr.
phone off.
Manhattan.
Put clothes on.
That's just the
He better
regular
not come in as no Dr. Manhattan. This
Yeah,
phone is
no.
going down.
That's the problem. I'm trying to
Thundar the
get banned.
Barbarian did it for me because very post-apocalyptic, and it put a bunch of stuff in here together. Look at this
Oh,
guy.
look at my man on the front lines. What's up, man?
all the time. What's good?
Looking
Big
like
BB in the house.
looking
Yo.
like a condom. There you go.
Damn.
Franco, you know what's one that a lot of people probably don't remember, but was a close second in Humanoids.
And Humanoids
I
was
remember
the
those,
shit.
yeah.
Was the shit. Remember
Yeah.
what was our favorite in Humanoid?
Well, I liked well, it was Tendril. It was I like Decompose.
Decompose.
Yeah, we like
there you go.
Decompose. Yeah,
And
and
Magmar.
Medlar.
Meglar.
Yeah.
I'm telling your ages.
Decompose is the man. He had
Yeah,
the best line in the whole
everybody's
series.
telling ages. It's okay.
I don't think
Best
I heard
line in
that
the whole
one.
Decompose. But yeah, so I was in the Thunder the Barbarian just because at the time I was like really, I'm still in like, I was really obsessed with like like Conan the Barbarian,
Right.
like different things like that, Slaying the Berserker and stuff like that from comic book.
Like the
And then I also was on the far end of the spectrum with like all the futuristic stuff. Thundar the Barbarian literally took the old stuff like barbarians and warriors and swords and stuff, then put it with high technology with mutants, and why not just throw some magic in there too? Because you had like a sorceress,
Right.
you had like wizards that actually was using technology. Like it was so all over the place.
Hold on.
And
Why
then
don't why
they
don't
said some scary reality shit because they were like, in such and such year, Earth fucked around and they cracked the moon, which fucked up the whole planet. So it's like, it was some scary shit.
And what was this called? The humanoids?
no
No,
Thundar?
this is
Thundar
the
Barbarian.
Why don't I
Okay.
remember that? Thundar the Barbarian? What was that?
I think
Yo,
that was a
listen,
little before my
Oh
time.
man,
Yeah, I don't remember that one either.
Thundar had like blonde hair. He wore like these big black boots, you know, the classic barbarian look, but he had like tights on, rode a horse.
Yeah, the
He had
energy
this
to
chick, he called her, forgot what her fucking name was. But
Sheila?
he had a mutant that was with him named Uklar.
Yeah,
Right.
I remember now. I
There
remember.
you go, Thundar the Barbarian,
Oh,
right
that
there.
looked like some low budget He-Man.
He had the sword,
I was
right?
about to say that.
Yeah, you remember?
Basically
You
a
all remember this.
lightsaber.
You all remember this. Yeah, I remember. The dude in the back of the
Yeah.
Hold up, my bad.
She was about to give him a magic slap to the back of the head.
Skibby Pass.
Yeah, dude. Remember this big creature looking dude? Yeah, I remember.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that.
Uklar and the Muck.
Hey, Wolfie.
All right, y'all. Let's see. We still got another 5 minutes left in this meeting. Next topic. This is actually important.
Hold
to
on,
me
you
for the
didn't say
hype.
yours. Did you say yours? Oh, you said
You
yours.
said Transformers.
Yeah, I
You
said
said
mine. Mine
no.
was with Anthony.
Hold on. You know what? Hey Jay, why don't you just end it now before it end up cutting us off, and then we just start it back up.
I'm gonna have to start it back up regardless. We can talk about this next one for 5 minutes.
Yeah, but if this just cut us off in between talking, then we got to remember where we started off. So if you just
So
cut
then
it
just
now,
bullshit for the next
Hold on,
couple
hold on.
minutes, then we'll start the new topic with the new
BB.
meeting first.
BB,
Yo,
what was your favorite old school cartoon?
I had all of them, man.
Give us one.
All of
yeah,
them.
one like your top favorite old school cartoon.
It's actually Thundar. I loved Thundar.
Hey, Thundar the Barbarian!
Fuck y'all old fuck.
And that's why you guys are friends.
Man, kids today won't understand.
Yeah, the
the-
two
the-
oldest
man.
cats in here.
Yeah.
Saturday morning having some cereal and just watching cartoons the whole
Yeah.
Remember Saturday morning cartoons,
I miss
man.
Saturday
Saturday
morning
morning
cartoons
cartoons
was the
so
shit.
much.
I hear
Followed
Sometimes they
by
start like 7
Soul
o'clock in the
Train.
morning.
I
Kung
hear
Fu
people-
movies.
How about Kung Fu Theater?
Yup,
Yeah.
cartoons
Oh, yeah.
went off and it was time for Kung Fu Theater.
Yep.
Hell
That's
yeah.
where I first seen Five Deadly Venoms.
Yup.
That's when you got your ass whooped because you went over there and chopped your brother because you thought you was a damn
I
ninja.
Now, question, right?
didn't have my little brother at that time, so what I did was I went outside and fucking fly kicked the shit out of some of my friends.
Well, and Franco, I wonder who them friends were. Hey Franco, it might have been my little brother.
All I'm saying is I saved his life once.
That's all that matters. That
You
makes
never
you,
gonna live that thing.
that
Never
makes
gonna
up
live
for
that
everything.
down.
All that matters.
Job. I got to get back to work.
All right.
All right, B,
Alright,
thanks
man.
for popping in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Man,
Thanks for
take care,
coming
man.
through.
Thank you for your service. Stay safe, bro.
Yeah, stay safe, bro.
Yes,
Anytime.
please.
Yeah, all jokes aside, stay safe, stay healthy, bro.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
man.
yes.
Pull that
Yeah,
mask up.
Jason?
The other patients.
Damn.
Oh my
God damn.
God.
Wait,
That's
what happened?
serious.
My mask. My face shield.
You too, Jason.
We really protected over here. We really
That's
protected
what's up.
over here.
Let me see, I missed it.
He had his big old face
Yeah,
mask,
he brought out
looking
that.
like
Oh,
he,
Yeah, he-
uh,
Two
He was like a
pepper gas,
like a hazmat hockey player.
mustard gas joint.
Yep.
Now he look like hey Gene, he looks like the new Sub-Zero.
oh no.
Wait, Mom said,
Ah, damn.
All right.
y'all.
I'm gonna bring
I'm
this
outta
up real quick because it'll roll into the next topic when I start the new meeting.
come here, give me a high five with this Minecraft stuff.
Streets of Rage 4.
Wait, who's playing Minecraft?
Yeah.
Streets
of
of
Rage
Rage
4.
4.
Yeah.
Who is hyped for Streets of Rage 4?
Yeah.
I am now that we got release date. I am.
This guy right here.
That one?
Yeah, he's hyped for Streets of Rage 4.
What's up?
No, it's just a move. After this, yo, we should all get on Streets of Rage. Play either part 2 or 3
Well, it's a 2-player game. Only 2 of us can get on it anyway.
Right.
online.
It's still a 2-player game.
Yeah, and not
Oh,
to
the
throw
Genesis
salt.
Collection.
Hey,
The
Gene,
Genesis
not
Collection is a 4-player, isn't it?
No.
Eugene, not to throw salt in the wound, but the new Streets of Rage is only going to be 2 players also online.
Yeah.
What the hell?
They not
Yeah.
fucking broke his damn heart.
It's 4-player couch co-op, but online is only 2.
Right.
That's fucking stupid.
You're
Not
stupid.
really. It's a 2-player game. It's always been a 2-player game.
It's always been a 2-player game.
It's 2020. You could have made that 4 players online for us.
I agree.
Listen,
They
it's
ain't trying to be
2020,
like
and we're
everybody
expecting too much of it. That's why this shit's happening now. We done put too much hope in 2020,
Hey,
and it has
I'm,
let us
look,
down
I'm psyched we get in the
severely.
game. I'm
Look,
psyched we
don't
get
put
in the
no
game.
input
I'm
into it
psyched
now
we
because
can
then
use
they
pretty
gonna
much
push it
every
back.
version of every character that's ever been in the Streets of Rage game.
Yeah, a cool thing for me is I'm going to use it as that perfect couch co-op. I know me and Sandy be playing it. Bobby, like 4 people will be glued in front of that TV as also when I'm going online playing with one of y'all.
Blasting the old school music from it.
Yeah, I'm
We
hyped
got
for that
1
one.
minute.
You heard that? You heard about that, right? Streets of Rage 4. Franco, Mike.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually looking forward to it. It's been a while since I hit somebody with a grand upper, so you know.
All
right, look. Real quick. So how many people spent like mad long trying to figure out exactly what the fuck he was saying when that game originally came out?
Dude, I didn't realize
that
what
shit
he
out.
said till you just said it now.
Exactly.
I was just tell, he was saying grasshopper.
No, I thought he
I
just
saying
said
ground upper.
grand upper. I don't know.
Now, who was remember one of the little mini boss, the one that be teleporting through the side, and he say some use whatever the fuck he be saying.
All right, y'all.
He be doing. Oh, you about to cut off?
Yeah, let's cut it here, and I'll start a new meeting up.
All right, cool.
With Streets of Rage 4 coming out, obviously it brings up Streets of Rage. Eugene brought up a good subject. Are video games more fun now versus back in the day?
What do you mean?
Did we just have more fun playing video? Do we have more fun playing video games now, or do we have more fun playing them back in the day?
I feel like we.
Penguins is
me,
high,
it
nerdist.
was, for
What?
I bet.
Penguin?
Where'd I go?
I don't know. Where did you go?
I don't know.
He like straight disappeared.
I'm a fake gamer girl. Don't ask me.
Exotic Penguin.
I think video
games
games were more fun back in the day.
Oh, hey, Penguin. What are you doing over there instead of over here, you butthole? Get in my chat, damn it. I need the views. I'm the fake titty streamer on Twitch. Get over here.
Look at my hand. There we go.
Oh, it's beautiful. Look at you just relaxing.
I'm all over the place, man.
Oh, look,
so I was
Mikey's back.
For me, video games were more fun to play back in the day. For now, it almost feels like it's a second job right now.
Oh my God, yes it does.
For real.
I feel like my favorite thing about back in the day was 6, 8, 10 of us getting together, getting a shit ton of pizza, playing Tekken or Burnout or whatever, and just hanging. Like that's what was fun about it.
We did that shit from Thursday to Sunday.
Well, I think the way games are designed now too, they keep you more separated physically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're more focused on the one player
Yeah.
playing by themselves, but they play with other people over the internet.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I think that's what it did. It pushed us to playing. Oh shit! Of course I would do that. So I guess this is gonna be my new thing.
We need to get.
How many times are you gonna knock over?
Every one of these meetings we have, I feel like I'm gonna knock this shit over.
We need to get.
Because what I dropped it like 4 times last time.
Hey Frank, get one of them neck devices like Ant has.
Don't do that ever.
Please don't do that.
Oh,
Do it.
y'all trying to
No, I'm buying him
y'all
one.
trying to clown him.
I'm buying him one.
Using it too.
Yep. I'm buying
I'm
him
gonna
one.
clown the shit out of him. No.
Hey, listen, Kim was trying to clown me one day. She was like, "Are you 74 years old?" I was like, "Listen,
Because
I'd
you
rather
look
be
74 with
than
that thing
40."
around your neck, your neck
Looking like-
pillow, chilled out back. Look at all you was missing was your
You know,
walker and your
you
fucking
know,
Metamucil.
you know what I look like
Fuck
him?
outta here.
I look comfortable. Is what I
That
look
did
like.
not
You know
even
what?
look
I'm
comfortable.
with you, and I agree.
Y'all both
Let
old
us look
asses.
70.
No.
Let us look 74. Don't judge us. I
I'm
got
with the-
74-year-old beard hair. You see this shit?
Yep. And I said,
You
you know
think
what
I
I said?
care about look old with a
You,
neck big on?
you know what I said there? I said I'd rather look 74 than 14. How about that?
Amen.
Oh, good. But I think video games now, I think back in the day, Justin alluded to something that was really cool, was getting together is you can't reduplicate that. Like we could play online and it's cool. It's the new normal, but it's nothing like being in the room with each other. That physical tension was cool. But I'm gonna touch on something different. I feel like gameplay, kind of what Franco was mentioning, I feel like they make games now and it's more like somebody said, it's like a chore. What I look at it as, they make games kind of what Kim said also. So it's kind of like a one player experience, but playing with people. So they make games where I like to say they just want there are so many people playing, so they make sure they keep you playing as long as you can. Like they just want you screen time, like, oh, we want to have so many people playing,
Right.
but it's you just kind of like, I got to get this and I got to get this. It's no like end ever. And again, that's cool to keep going, but I feel like it's my the way I feel about playing Doom. The first thing I said was, man, this feels like an old back in the day game where like you unlock stuff and you like your experience level up and you hit that cap and then you unlock this weapon and you go find this attachment. And I feel like that's what we're kind of missing nowadays, because especially with loot, like the magical, I don't know which enemy I'm gonna kill that's gonna drop this weapon. And I feel like it's smart for gamers to keep you in tune, because you don't know what you're getting out of the experience. But back in the day, if you played a game, you got your skill tree up, you unlock something, it is what it is. You know, it wasn't that chase the carrot thing.
Right.
I could say what I like and kind of dislike about it is the fact that, yeah, we're all kind of separated when it comes to playing a game, but it has its perks and benefits when playing a fighting game against somebody and you whooping their ass and they can't knock the controller out your hand.
This the bullshit.
No, Mike, they can do something else now. They can still not control your hand online.
Rage quit.
It's
Oh, no,
called
no, no.
rage
Now they
quit.
now they do one of three things. They rage
Rage quit.
DDoS, or swat your ass.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the new way of not controlling your hand.
But that's the thing, like, when was the last time you got a game that you could actually complete, like, be done with and be 100%?
Right.
But you know
No,
what?
that's
It's
real.
funny you brought that up too, Kim, because I was talking. I can't remember which one of y'all was talking to. Might have been Mike. Might have been somebody else. Or it might even been BB, where I was saying how Destiny kind of ruined me on my other games.
You were talking to me.
I literally right now have Uncharted, A Thief's End. I got Batman Arkham Knight. And I got God of War. Now Mike can attest to this. Batman, God of War, and Uncharted. I would get those games in Devil May Cry, and I would play those to completion.
Are you
Like
kidding
I
me?
went.
I remember you
That's
playing the
nothing else.
shit out of God of War when I was there in the
We're playing
house.
nonstop.
Where's Franco? Playing the game. All right, dinner's ready. Go take him and play. All right, he ain't coming out the room though. Give him his food. Go play.
But what Destiny's done to me is there's no end.
Yeah.
So when I go to try to play those games and to finish them, I get so distracted by like, I can't. I don't have that same feeling that I'm working towards an ending anymore.
Right.
Even though those games have endings, and like subconsciously, I'm like, oh, it's never going to end. So I lose interest really quick in them, and I just go back to Destiny.
No,
Exactly.
and to give Destiny a good point, because I definitely, I've spent many years with Destiny. Destiny always felt like, imagine you played your favorite game and it never end. Like that just makes sense. It sounds awesome, but I think they lost themselves in the never end aspect. They just throw stuff at you that you don't value that make the game go on forever, and you're kind of like, I like the core game, but what y'all guys are linking me to keep playing. Like we could all say Destiny 1 was mwah, mwah, mwah. So the reasons why you kept playing it and didn't play other games was more meaningful. And I feel like now they realize it's more of a cash grab. Hey, we could just keep people playing if we just add this little bit of thing, and it's not that special. You know?
Quick question from Mike from the chat. True wants to know, is Iceborne worth it?
Hey, I'm a Monster Hunter fan.
I was
Just
gonna
like
say
I've been
Monster
a
Hunter
Destiny fan.
Iceborne.
So you, regardless, if you could ask me that, I'm still gonna say yes.
Yeah, so you're probably not the right person to ask then.
Yeah. I
To
want
be
to
fair.
elaborate on Franco's point, though. He's definitely right. I do miss finishing a game. The last game I finished on PS4 was Grand Theft Auto 5.
Wow.
And mind
You
you,
actually beat that?
yeah, I have an online character and everything. I've literally started it up a couple times, barely touch it, but I actually beat the campaign of Grand Theft Auto 5. And you do get that feeling of, all right, I beat that shit. That was high.
Right.
And then on Anthony's point, the problem with Destiny is it has ruined me for video games.
Yeah.
I have Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, Final Fantasy VII, the most recent Devil May Cry, which is fire. I've yet to finish any of these games. And it's like, and what hit me is when I started streaming. When I started streaming, I'm playing Destiny, I'm doing my thing, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna play Tekken real quick, just to, cause I got the new DLC.
I told you that Tekken was gonna get you
I
when you
started
started
playing
streaming.
Tekken, and I was like, oh my god, this is what I miss. I miss having fun. Like, because Destiny does, it feels like work. I'm grinding for this, I'm grinding for that. And the thing with Destiny is they have now doubled down on the whole MMO RPG aspect of the game. So now in Destiny 1, it was more RNG than anything. You fought, you did a raid or you did a couple strikes. If you're lucky, the weapon you wanted dropped, you got what you wanted. They had a few quests for some weapons, and that was cool. Destiny 2, it's all quests, it's all grinding. You don't get that excitement because like when you play Destiny 1 and you did Crota, and if you're lucky enough, someone let you in and you didn't have Galahorn, and then you beat Crota and you got Galahorn. And
that was gold right there.
Yeah, people used to make reaction videos based on exotic drops. They don't make those anymore.
I think another big thing that has changed, especially for me, because I play mostly a different kind of game, because I don't know how Destiny works in a lot of the games you play. But the way it's set up now is like you're playing by yourself but with other people, and people are assholes. So they will come out here and ruin your fucking game just for the fucking shit of it. Like they'll come in and do the dumbest shit in the game just to ruin your fun. And like that takes a lot of the fun out of the games that I used to have too. Because like I play a lot of games like Dragon Ball Z, not Dragon Ball Z, DVD, Dead by Daylight.
Y'all hear me?
Yes.
Now,
you know, I play League, I play, TFT. These are all games that interact with other people, but all it takes is one person to be an asshole to kind of ruin the whole fucking match.
Oh yeah, you get griefers in Destiny too. You're trying to do a heroic public event, and then you get people that come in and just kill that.
I know,
shit.
Penguin. You are a ruiner of the fun. You love to be my killer.
G5G money. Oh my gosh, yes. Well, there's this dude in Destiny.
Oh, G5G money.
G5G money. Yeah. We was going for a flawless raid. Tell me why this cat jumped in and killed the whole thing.
Wow. I think the one thing though that's cool about these live service games is I will say this: I'm all for the games that you could beat, but what Destiny did give me was that I'm one for like God of War, like games you mentioned, God of War, Devil May Cry. I'll spend money, buy them, beat them, and then I won't play them again. Whereas Destiny, I could play forever because they keep giving me stuff to play. But the only problem is that recently I feel like the stuff they give you to play isn't what it used to be.
Right.
But you hate when you beat your favorite game and it's over, because how much can you keep playing?
That's
what the companies are trying to do, though. They're trying to find that balance of not making the game get boring,
right?
Keep coming back and not making it.
See,
like,
I think it's best when a game comes to an end. Certain games have to come to an end.
Yes, you need an end for everything. I mean, granted, you're gonna have other things to go experiment on, but there needs to be an end to it at some point. Like,
no, that's true.
And see, for me, there are two games that fit that mold perfect: Prototype 2 and Watch Dogs 2.
Ooh, Prototype 2 is my favorite game. So.
Both them games had a great length, had a great story. The inspections wasn't too long, and the trophies gave you a reason to keep playing the expansions of the game. Once you did it, you got platinum, you was done. You felt satisfied. You didn't feel like you was wasting your time. And it felt like sure. And it felt like you had to go to work at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
It was just fun.
Prototype 2 was actually the first. No, well, Prototype 1 was the first game I ever platinum. Like I didn't care to platinum games, but that game was so much fun. The replay value, like you'll beat it, but then it was still so much to do. You just like I'm gonna platinum it by default because I don't want to stop playing.
That's
Yeah,
what's
good
up.
point.
I feel
I don't
like
think I ever platinum any games. I just never really cared to platinum it. I
didn't-
probably did
Yeah,
not
like,
paying attention
listen,
to it.
what I tell
because
y'all.
yeah, I've
I just
platinumed
be
a few
playing,
games.
just
I'm
be
not
playing.
a huge trophy hunter, but I've
Me
platinumed
neither.
a few games. But
I probably platinum a few games, but I never pride myself on doing it. I just go and play to have fun. And sometimes I look back like, oh shit, I did this. I ain't never know I did that.
yeah. So
Yep.
Yeah, I
Anthony brought up a good point. All-time favorite games. He says his all-time favorite game is Prototype.
Yes, sir.
They don't make video games like they used to. My all-time favorite game, and I can attest to this even now because I recently bought it, played it, and beat it again, was Castlevania Symphony of the Night. They
That's what's
put
up.
that game on Android. I loaded it up on my phone, linked my PS4 controller, and ran through that sucker and loved
Wow.
every second of it. I
Yeah,
love that
thanks
game.
My all-time favorite game, like it was probably the first game that I platinum, not trying to platinum it because it drew me in so much, was Infamous.
Oh,
Infamous
okay.
Because
too.
Infamous, it just kind of embodied all the stuff that I
The-
love. Like it was even though it was a one-player game, it was like an action adventure with a great story.
Well,
I felt like I was a comic book superhero or
Now-
villain, and it had that double story ending for me, where it's like, yo, I get to beat it, and then oh shit, I can play the whole game again, turn evil, and beat it a whole different way and get a whole different ending.
That's
Here's-
pretty
That
sick.
blew my mind. I loved it.
here's what's
Hey,
cool,
Frank, quick
Franco. That was the arch rival to Prototype. So that's cool that
Yup,
both of those
remember,
games.
remember we would talk about that,
Yeah. They were
and I
so-
played like I played both,
right.
and I remember we had a conversation where you were like, "Yeah, Infamous is really good, but I really love Prototype."
Right.
Da, da,
You
da,
was-
da. And I would be like, "Yeah, but I don't know, Infamous is better because I really love
right,
Infamous,
right.
and Prototype's okay, and you know."
Those are
So
two
two
great
very-
games. Yeah.
games of the same archetype.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They set the standard for games that would come
Yep.
down the line.
Go ahead, Mike. You got a favorite?
Whew, man, do I? My favorite goes back. Guardian Heroes.
Woo!
Oh!
Woo!
Oh,
That
I
ain't
remember
fair.
Hazima
He
Stingray!
went back to the Sega Saturn.
Hey.
Woo, man.
Hey,
I
that's
still
love
have that
game,
game.
man.
I need to find me. I need to
love
go on
it.
eBay and get me a Saturn. I still have that game.
And-
I heard that it's on Xbox. I need to go
it
download
is
that right
actually.
now.
It
It
is.
is.
On
And
Xbox. It's on Xbox Arcade.
I'm still upset about it because no matter how many times I played in different ways I went, I only managed to get 20 different endings.
Okay.
And I know it's they said it's like 30, 35 different endings.
I don't remember.
I don't know
I played.
about all
That's
that.
definitely
I'll
one
have
of
to
the
look.
games I put some of the
I
most
put-
time in ever.
I put
in
the
my life.
most time.
Yeah.
Yo, well,
I'll
because
take
Aaron
you
was the
back.
man, because you had the Saturn, you had the 6-player multi-tap.
Yep.
We used to come over and go in. He had like mad jank controllers.
Yes. Yes. And we used to
It
play
was
the
like- it was
6-player
like
fighting
going to an
game mode.
arcade.
Yep.
Right.
So,
Why I'm
Mike-
a boss character and not
Mike will remember this. Remember, I got the modded PS1, and I got y'all hooked on the game Poi Poi.
Poi Poi. Woo! Oh man, damn, I love
If y'all
that game.
never heard of Poi Poi, Poi Poi was a game that came straight out of Japan. You ever look at the Nintendo Wii, you get the character called Mii's,
Yeah.
right? Poi Poi came out back when PS1 was out, and you look like Mii's, the Mii characters, right? And you would get these gloves, and they put you in a round room, and it was when they came out with the multi-tap, 6-player multi-tap, and you literally threw shit at each other. We would play it for hours. I'm talking about so long we would have to turn the PS1 off and let it cool down.
Damn. That's crazy.
But I mean, you had one dude that like he get a glove, you throw the shit in the air, and it turned to like a little circle on the ground. And when somebody run across the circle, that shit come flying down to the air and bust them in the head.
Oh shit.
Like it was the most simplest, basic game, but it was so fun.
That's
Like,
what's
It
up.
Yeah,
just
I
always
think-
went. You be playing for hours and won't even notice it. It was
Yeah,
just
we wouldn't know.
time would just go by. Like your whole day's gone.
So Eugene, what's one of your all-time favorite games?
One of my all-time favorite
Street
games.
Fighter.
Yes, I do like my fighting game. Yes, I do.
Hey, I love Street Fighter. I need to play that more. Destiny's got me fucked on that too.
I'm trying to
It's
think. One
just
of my
to me, it
all-time
just sounds like
favorite
Destiny
games.
has ruined everybody's life. And y'all just need to leave
It
it alone.
kinda has.
Yeah.
Well, I actually,
It didn't ruin my life. It just ruined my attention span for video games.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually-
my
That
video-
sounds like it ruined your life to me.
I actually jumped off the ship about 7 months ago, or
Yeah.
something like that.
So what did
Yeah,
you
but
say,
then you
Eugene?
jumped on the Anthem ship, didn't you, for a long
I
ass
did.
time?
I did. I was on that for hard too. But
Anthem is actually pretty damn good.
yeah, I've been saying it. Yeah, I feel like if you're a gamer, I don't know how you wouldn't like Anthem. Yo. It's just
No, I
bad.
believe it's good. It's just sad that it was broken. But we're not going
My
to start
problem
that
with
conversation in this
live
chat.
up to the hype.
Eugene, what was your game?
Oh, I forgot she asked me something. My bad. Boy, one of my favorite games of all time. It had to be on the PS3 because this game drew legit emotion out of you.
Oh,
Heavenly
no.
Sword.
Oh wow.
Whoa.
What sword?
Heavenly Sword.
Oh wow.
He took it back
Yeah.
like release
Yeah.
PS3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And
That's a game.
I've been wanting the sequel to that game ever since. When I beat that game, and they sent old girl in that little boat, and they threw the fire arrows at it, I'm like, I almost wanted to break down.
Yeah, but
Spoiler
I mean,
alert.
so here's the question: can y'all help me figure this out? Because is this or is it not? I thought Hellblade was like the next game in that line.
I think it's like a spiritual successor because it's from I believe it's from the same studio, but it's not a direct sequel. I've looked into that because I was curious myself.
Yeah, because I'm like, I thought that girl was her sister. Is that not the case?
No, I don't think so. No. What was the girl name in Heavenly Sword?
Well, you talking about her sister or the main girl?
The main girl.
It's been so
Damn,
long,
what's
I
her
don't
name?
remember. I remember Ant was playing that game for a minute though.
Yo, I was on, and that was a game that I beat over and over.
Yeah.
Like I literally.
That was a
And
good
remember
game.
with the what they used to call it when the controller could move the six axis.
Yeah.
And you would literally throw a weapon and control it and it fly and hit somebody in the forehead.
Remember that.
That was the one thing I could not do was that. I had to put that shit on.
The funny
regular.
part is it made me hate the game initially because this sucks. I can't do it. And then I figured out how to use that shit.
Yeah.
I remember putting that shit and guiding it in between stuff.
Yeah.
Yo,
Oh, her name is Nariko.
Oh, Nariko, yeah.
shit.
Noriko, it's Noriko.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Dude,
what's up.
I remember playing and beating Layer when you had the game with the dragons, the whole game using the six axis. That was crazy.
That would be annoying.
It was difficult.
All right.
You had to like jerk it to dive down and all that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Franco brought up a good topic. We're gonna switch gears here a little bit, and we
Okay.
got about 40 minutes, so I know this might be a long one. Franco brought up, and this is kind of important. I want to talk about it. We're gonna talk about the WWE releases and just the landscape of wrestling.
Cool.
On a
They
whole.
just released everybody.
Hang out, Ken. You might learn something. You can see her side. She's like, I'm out. Fuck this shit.
Ken's probably like, you should have just did this first. Got it
Did
out the
this
way.
first and call me when you was done.
Nope. You ain't here now.
Yep.
I'll
you
just
in
sit
now.
here. No.
So, Franco, please, if you would, lead us off, because I'm not. I know some, but I don't know all, or at least most.
I'll wait or something. So, like Eugene laughed about it. Like the reason why I brought it up because I know we do some pretty lighthearted stuff. This one's a little more serious to me. And he's laughing about it, saying, "Oh, they just released everybody." But let me put it into a better spectrum. So, if you've been paying attention with the pandemic and everything going on, everybody's been scrambling financially. Everybody's been scrambling to keep their companies afloat, stay financially viable, and at the same time, try to make sure that people are staying healthy and staying safe.
Speaking of which, real quick, Franco, if I just want to ask, who here got their stimulus money?
Me?
Not me, buddy.
Me and my wife.
Mike.
When did you
G?
file your taxes? Franco?
I didn't, so I ain't worried
Oh.
about it.
Okay,
well,
fair
all right.
enough.
It's for another time, not for the chat.
All
All
right.
right, fair enough.
All right,
Wesley
go ahead,
Snipes
Franco.
over here.
Motherfucker. No, I ain't got no problem talking about it, but probably not now because it'll eat up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, go ahead. Finish what you were
Maybe
saying about wrestling.
That's another topic next time.
Okay,
But
so-
yeah, so
They released Drake, Maverick,
Right.
Kurt Hawkins,
Right.
Zack Ryder,
Right.
Heath Slater,
Right.
Luke Gallows,
Oh, Mike pulled
Carl
up the list.
Anderson, Rusev, No Way Jose, Sarah Logan, Mike Canales, Maria Canales, Aiden English, EC3, Leo Rush, Eric Young, Primo, Eric Rowan, a few people from NXT that they didn't mention on here so far that I'm looking at.
There was a couple of people
But
that wasn't
it's a
that you
lot.
didn't see
Yeah.
on TV yet.
mhm. So
So they basically released a bunch of enhancement talent.
Not
It
the
sounds like
point.
a bunch
Go
of
on,
the
Franco.
newer. Is it the newer like line? Because you know me, I don't know what the hell's going on in wrestling.
Nah,
Are these newer people, or they been around for a while?
Zack
Some
Ryder been
are
around for a while.
newer.
Heath Slater been a lot of them been around for a while. They probably been under other aliases and stuff, but they've been around for a while.
no,
Certain
Heath
ones
Slater's been Heath Slater.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm talking about the other ones. Heath Slater been Heath Slater, and Zack Ryder been Zack Ryder.
No, everybody you said was their same self.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody you said was the same self.
Nah, Luke Gallows was somebody else at one point in time.
No, yeah, he was Festus. He was Festus,
that was
but he was
years-
recently
years
still.
ago. He's
Yeah,
been
he was
Luke
recently
Gallows for a
still
hot
Luke
minute.
Gallows.
That's
So-
what, like that was my question. Whether it was the newer talent that they were letting go first before they have to let go of the older stuff. or
No,
what-
here. Well, let Franco finish because I want to hear
Yeah.
what he's going to say. I got a feeling me and Franco are going to come at different angles, but go ahead.
You know, everybody kept cutting out. I don't even know where I was at. I had
So
a
you were saying that they everybody's been trying to do things to stay afloat, and so they released a lot of people, and you were
oh
I guess,
yeah. So the biggest concern I got right now, and I'm feeling like I don't know if everybody else is getting this, is like where do we go from here as far as the wrestling community? Because when they release these people, you got to understand there were people that were asking for their releases for a long time,
Right.
and they wouldn't release them. And then now when they started releasing people, it's almost like a bloodletting if you really look at it.
Oh yeah.
The hardest one for me, and if you get a chance to look it up, was a Drake Maverick, right? For people who don't know who Drake Maverick is, just if they don't watch WWE,
Right.
you go back to TNA, he was Rockstar Spud. So Drake Maverick is the type of where he was very good on the microphone, very good comedic, wrestling character, very versatile wrestling character, and he actually can wrestle. He took it really hard. He actually was on Twitter crying and everything.
Yeah.
How much it hurt. And what I think a lot of people aren't getting is not that they got released. They got released during the pandemic. So people are making jokes like, oh, they're just going to go this place. There's nowhere for them to go.
Right.
Most of the indies have shut down shows for now. AEW pretty much has said they're not going to just pick up people wholesale. New Japan is not picking up people right now. Ring of Honor is not really picking up people right now. This is these people's livelihood.
Right.
They have nowhere to go. And when they're released from the contracts, it's not like when WWE stops using you and makes you sit out your contract. You still get paid. When you're released, you no longer get paid. Your contract is severed, it's over. So that's it. Like CM Punk sat out his contract for almost a year and got paid.
Mhm.
He got his base pay,
Right.
whatever his contract was. If it was 1.5 million, he got that cut every month to the end. But these guys that got released, they weren't making John Cena money.
Right.
They weren't up there. So now the question is, what happens to the landscape of the wrestling industry?
Well, let me jump in there and play devil's advocate for a bit. I got let go from my job on March 24th, and I got laid off, and I'm not getting paid, and I got to collect unemployment. I don't want to make light of these situations, but when a company need to make money, they go to payroll first. Payroll meaning they got to get rid of people. And not to be funny, but everybody you mentioned, the only person who was relevant, and this is going to be a shocker, was Sarah Logan, because she actually had a match a week ago. Drake Maverick, not to be funny, but WWE, if you go by Vince, he like big people. Drake Maverick is like 5 feet tall. I don't think he was gonna.
Well, hold on. Let me stop you right there because I want you to finish what you're saying.
Right.
Because you touched on that Sarah Logan was relevant. Drake Maverick was actually relevant. He had just got put into the cruiserweight, the interim cruiser champion thing, and he was transitioning over to a full-time in-ring competitor in 205 Live and on NXT. He was on the verge of a big push.
Okay, I heard they was gonna allow him to still wrestle in that tournament though. Is what I heard.
Yeah, he's still gonna wrestle in the tournament. Yeah.
So I mean, I'm assuming they're gonna have to pay him for that. But my whole thing is that when I got let go, I was new, so it made sense. But they let go a bunch of people in different branches that they actually wanted to get rid of, but they never. I guess that company doesn't really get rid of people, so they try to just move you around. So this is a way for them to be like, let's be fair. What has Zack Ryder did in so long? Like, I know some of these people we probably feel close to our heart, but to be honest, a reason why I brought up Sarah Logan, and yeah, Drake Maverick would trump that because he was actually in a good storyline, but she actually wrestled recently. Like even Carl Anderson and Lou Gallows, to be honest with you, they wasn't really doing anything great recently. So I feel like I'm not upset with the people getting let go because it's business. I got let go, and it is what it is. Like at the end of the day, it's a pandemic. They need to cut people. So the people now, if they would have cut people who like was a big deal, then it'd have been like, wait, what? But they got rid of people that wasn't doing anything. So I feel like, like Eugene's first thing Eugene said was, not jobbers, but whatever term he used.
Enhancement talent.
He's kind of, I won't call them enhancement talent, but I'll just say that they was on the lower spectrum as far as storylines and what they was doing. So, I mean, it just makes sense, to be honest.
That was why I asked what I asked. Like, are they newer people? Are they relevant right now? Are they doing, like, active in the storylines that are going on right now? Because that makes the most...
Besides Drake Maverick, Franco is right. None of them actually had a legit storyline that was going on.
Yeah.
It sucks for the person that they're now unemployed and they're having to figure out how to like do what they've got to do. Right. But as a business sense, it makes sense that they let go of those people to do that.
Makes sense.
It's the same thing that like a lot of the other businesses like that happen to you. It's the newer people, the people whose jobs aren't quite essential enough to keep on, they're letting them go. And it sucks. It's whether it's you, a wrestler, or whoever. If your livelihood is in jeopardy right now,
it's like if you had a branch, you're not gonna let go of the manager, right? You're gonna keep the manager, the branch.
The manager already knows how to do what the underlings do, and he can do it and cover it.
Here's my question, right? What these voters being let go, are they eligible to apply for any form of unemployment?
I don't know.
I don't think they are because they're remember wrestlers are
independent contractors.
Independent contractors.
But the way they set up that new stuff with the independent contractor thing, with the unemployment now, they might actually.
Well, you're right. You might be right
because the way they passed that bill, if you're an independent contractor / gig work, you can get compensation.
Because technically, only because I'm still getting paid from my contract because I'm with the school district, but because as a DJ it's considered gig work, and I was told I could apply.
Okay.
Technically, because I'm still getting paid for a job, they'd probably look at that and be like, no, we're not going to pay you unemployment. You're still getting paid for your actual job. So, but if I wasn't, I could probably apply because of my DJ work.
Hey, Justin, this thing says we got less than a minute.
I saw that. At the end of the day, that's really what it is.
Well, hold up.
The reason why I like this conversation is because it doesn't just affect wrestlers; it affects all of us.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's the same kind of thing with anybody who watches any kind of quote unquote sport. Like all the football players have nothing. Football fans don't have anything because they've canceled basically everything.
Right.
There's no football. There's no basketball. There's no baseball. There's no wrestling.
Well, here's the question: Did you see that they made wrestling essential in Florida?
I saw in Florida they made it essential, but I also still think again.
No, you can't do shit. It was a waste of my time going up there.
Okay.
Yeah, mute your mic.
Yo, Mike,
Mute
you
your
good?
mic. Damn, y'all right over there.
You're about to get robbed.
For real.
I know.
He look
But
like
it's essential in Florida, but just because something makes it essential doesn't mean it's a good idea. Like, granted, does it suck that
no, I hear
everything's
that.
on pause right now? Yes. But do I think they need to? Yes, because sitting here and wrestling is one of those things where you need that live audience to interact with and like feel it. And you guys even said when you watch what was it, WrestleMania, the little bit
that
I was
done?
sticking around for it and see it.
Right.
Yeah, it is. I see. Yeah. Don't be shaking your head.
Yeah, that's yeah, that's the.
Like
What
even
up,
like
Doc?
you guys.
Huh?
Yep. I'm probably the only person that was
That's not me.
able to enjoy wrestling without the audience. But yeah, the
But like,
large
I
majority
just
of
to me,
people.
even
It's
like the
very hard
wrestling
to
that I
enjoy.
used to watch back in the day, like I've watched some wrestling. I'm not a complete stranger to it,
Oh,
but it seems like
speaking
it's
of
one
that,
of
Sandy,
those
we gotta watch SmackDown.
that it's fueled off of the like the crowd in the background cheering and interacting and heckling and all that. That's part
Right.
of the experience, and I just don't feel like it's ever going to be the same without that.
Yeah,
Can
they'll
it
come
happen?
back.
Sure. Will it come back eventually? Yeah, but I think just like everything else in this world, after this is over, a lot of things are going to change and be different, and we're just going to have to find a way to deal with that and cope with it. Is it going to suck? Hell yes.
You know,
But
you know what's funny though, in a weird way. Again, I'm definitely the exception because a lot of people don't agree with me. But I actually am a little more in tune with wrestling. Because I'm one of the people where the fans was in the last maybe few years, the fans bothered me a lot, like the dumb stuff they screaming. CM Punk, he's been gone for how long? Knocking around volleyballs. And Charlotte Flair said something important. She was like, without the fans, like we're more into our not even the wrestling, but their talking points. And so I noticed like, man, people are giving these great promos. I'm like, oh, that's right. They don't have nobody the fans to cut them off, so they could go straight to it. And then number two is I'm into like the camera angles, and we discussed this before, but Kim wasn't on it, being really zoomed in. So I'm like,
I went back and watched it, so
okay, yeah. So I mean, I'm
I
the
love you guys.
exception.
Oh, well, thank you, Kim.
I love you, and I went and sat through like 4 hours of wrestling talk just for you guys.
Well, this cup of orange juice is for you.
All right, so just to kind of jump back into it, I was letting y'all kind of voice. I'm not really looking at I know y'all focusing on like no fans being there, different stuff. I'm really looking at it as like I'm trying to put it in a microcosm because I feel like it kind of reflects what's going on in society. Like y'all said, everything's shutting down. My question really is, when I say how does it affect the landscape of wrestling going forward, is you have all these people now who are just out there in the wind now. So when everything does revert, when it comes back, where are they going? How are they going to land? What is WWE's next move as far as the people that they let go? Because remember, they held on to a lot of these people just so they wouldn't go to other promotions.
Right.
And then to around and release them during the pandemic to save money. Again, with you, I agree with your point that it's the smart move. You gotta do what's good to keep the business afloat. But they also had just recently revealed, because they had to make it public knowledge because of their shareholders and stuff, that they have $0.5 billion of money put aside for situations like this. And when I say $0.5 billion, that's $500 million that they have to fall back on. So take that $500 million that you have to fall back on and really look across the whole thing. You're not doing live shows right now, right? So
well, they are. Now they're about to.
Well, no, they're not doing live shows with fans and stuff.
Not with fans.
No,
yeah,
actually, Anthony,
what happens
if I can
is
correct Anthony real quick, yes, they voted to make it essential in Florida, but then all of a sudden Vince retracted that, and now they're taping every 2 weeks now.
Oh, so it's not going to be. They went okay.
No, they went back to kind of what they were
They went
doing.
back to what they were doing before. All right, go on, Frank.
Okay.
Right, because he wanted to go back to live shows. But Justin, you got to be mindful with that too, because he also turned around and said that they were going back to the full taping schedule, because he's trying to not have friction with the network deals that only allows them for two
that's the thing.
tape shows per year.
Right,
Oh,
that's
okay,
the
I
thing.
understand.
But
Yeah,
they did catch a lot of backlash because of that.
right.
Because they said, wait a minute, so the networks are going to force you to have live shows so you don't lose your contract. And I believe the networks put out statements basically saying that they would support their programming in these trying times. So I think it's kind of they're jockeying for position. Like the network doesn't want to look bad, and Vince doesn't want to lose his contracts.
Right.
So I don't think they want to lose them. But I think he is going to press to do some more live shows. My thing is, it's just I feel like it kind of was like a shit move to a certain extent because you waited until the pandemic to do it. Whereas you saw this coming before they did the stay at home. And you had people that were asking for their releases back then. I'm talking about it's April now. Right. This has been going on. This has been not acknowledged since January.
Mm-hmm.
Like that we were in a full-on health crisis, right? Went pandemic in February, right? And you got the stay-at-home order in the middle of February. So why not release those people that wanted to be released prior to that?
Well, here's the thing.
Why not start saving? Hold on, let me finish because you know y'all took it and ran with it. Let me just give y'all some more to go in. Why not take that initiative to say, hey, well, you know what? Let's start buckling down, saving money. Let's release these people that we aren't doing too much with now. Let's let them go. Let's do this. Let's do that. But you wait to the pandemic when you know they can't work.
Hold on. Actually, no, what I'm trying to get from you is when you said we could have released them then, what date are you, like, when are you talking about? Release them when?
So you had,
like January.
Yeah, you had people in January. I'm trying to remember. Like the Revival have been trying to get released since last year.
Right.
Thank you for the host, Kitty.
Released. They finally got released. Right before they did the mass releases, they released them the week before.
Okay.
Right. The Revival are in a different situation than everybody else because I'm pretty sure AEW was already going to pick them up because the Young Bucks had put out that they wanted to wrestle them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a good chance they were going to get picked up. But then you had people like Sarah Logan had voiced concern where she wasn't happy with the way her direction was going and possibly looked to be released. You had Gallows and Anderson who had talked about letting their contract run out, and then they re-signed them, I believe, in January.
That release in particular surprised me.
Yeah, it did.
Not me.
Because they put them in a big program.
Yeah.
They've actually been on a pretty good run with AJ Styles. They put them together, and they've been running some really good stuff. And then they did the Boneyard match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but hold up. Even before the Boneyard match, they wasn't getting any wins though. Like they wasn't really like anything special. They didn't have they wasn't in the title contention.
They won the greatest tag team in the world, right? They've been in ongoing, off-going feuds. Yeah, they haven't been winning the feuds, but they've been getting TV time.
Yeah.
They've been in storylines.
That's how I look at it.
Right?
Sometimes winning matches not
that's
always
their problem right there.
Losing matches also kind of builds you up also. So sometimes
it does sometimes.
Right. Here's the thing with wrestling. We know it's predetermined. The goal is really to always be in the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
Win or lose.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
As long as you're in the spotlight, you're relevant.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's why the release of them surprised because they were always on TV, win or lose. They were either backing up AJ Styles or doing their own thing, and they were in the Boneyard match, and they're the greatest tag team in the world, quote unquote. So for them, I was like, for the most part, I wasn't too surprised, but when I heard them, I was like, what?
Yeah, like Sarah Logan, I could see that coming because I also have my own opinion with her. I feel like she's going through something personally. Right. I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but she looks like a fucking dope fiend.
Oh,
it's just what she's using.
I didn't notice, but yeah.
Look at her recently, and look at
Let me look her up
her from maybe 6-7 months ago.
Yeah, I was
something's going on. He looks like even. I give you a perfect time to look at her. Remember when they were doing the contract signing for the Elimination Chamber?
Yeah.
Right.
Look at her doing that.
She was high as fuck.
Looks spaced the fuck out.
Oh my god!
Like, you see her? You looking at her now?
Yeah, I'm looking at her. That's definitely something's going on.
Bombed out and depleted.
Yeah.
He looks crazy, and I don't know what it is.
That
You
is,
know,
yeah, she's got something going on.
somebody tried to say, "Oh, she's not wearing as much makeup." You look at
And she
Sarah
lost
Logan.
mad weight.
No,
too.
she's wearing more makeup though. That's the problem.
Exactly. You look at her; she's wearing more makeup because
Yeah,
she
that
was
thing
always
that go like that.
looking one, and now it almost looks like they're trying to cover it up.
Yeah,
When
that's
she
she's
first
wearing
started
more
losing
makeup,
weight-
which means she looks even shittier than she really looks.
Yeah, when she started losing weight, she was looking really good, right? But she looks bombed out. So my thing is, you release her, it's understandable. But again, it's like she may have been somebody that needed to be there. Wellness policy and all that different stuff. Although I know they do still help people when they're not signed anymore. The one that really got me, that really surprised me, actually was two, and y'all gonna not agree with one of them. One is Rusev. Rusev has been so mismanaged during his runs,
Oh, absolutely.
including up to the end with the Bobby Lashley run. But Rusev, money-wise, is money.
Right.
He drew so much money with the Rusev Day, and it's still super popular. They even tried to distance him from Rusev Day,
Right.
and it still comes up, and he still says it occasionally. You split him off from Lana, he becomes the more popular one out of them because people were pissed. Lana got super heat off of it, and he got a super shine from it. And then you shit booked him and Bobby Lashley in that. How do you fuck up the booking of two people in one feud?
That is true.
Right?
Rusev was legit money.
Yeah, but I think
But that's the thing. The money part is the reason why it doesn't surprise me that they held on to them for so long. Again, speaking as an outsider, because I know nothing about who's in what storylines and
Right.
stuff like this. But obviously, if you're signed and you're on they see some kind of potential in you. They think they can turn you into something. So, as business wise, they're gonna hold on to these people as long as they possibly fucking can to make sure that that talent doesn't wind up somewhere else. And yes,
Right.
nobody's hiring. So they waited until nobody could hire them and nobody was taking anybody in. So that way there's a better chance that when all this shit is over with and they can go back to
All
where
of
it
that.
is, they have a chance to bring these people back.
Pick 'em
Yes,
back
they
up.
will lose some. They're going to lose some, no
and
matter
some
what.
they wanted to lose.
Some they wanted
they
to
wanted
lose,
to
but
lose them
just
all.
wanted to make, it easier. What better way to dump off all this stuff? We're kind of sorry we picked up than a pandemic. Screw it. We don't need you anymore. Boop, get out. You know what I mean? And that's what they did. They took advantage of the situation.
Yeah,
Which,
definitely.
I mean, it's all about the money when it comes to big corporations like that. And yes,
Yeah.
they're going to do stuff to help some of them and they might whatever, but that's why they held on to them for so long. And that's why they didn't release them when they were first January, February. Please let us go. We want to do this. Because nobody. I think a lot of people, especially big businesses, underestimated the impact that this was going to have on us
Right.
as a people.
Well, we didn't know how long this was going to last either.
We didn't think it was going to last. According to Anthony, it was supposed to be done already.
Whoa, not yet.
It was
Not
going to be
yet.
done.
Not yet. April's not over yet. All right,
No,
just hold on.
I know it was but on its
Hold
way
on.
out, and it's only getting worse.
Listen,
In the period.
I'm gonna put it to y'all this way. Everybody who sat here, and I know y'all taking it lighty, y'all make jokes of it and stuff like that, but I took it a little more serious because I actually know somebody who directly died from COVID-19.
Oh,
Right.
God.
Well,
I
I'm
now
sorry
know
to
somebody
hear
who directly died from it. And when it became a pandemic, all that shit, when people was like, oh, it'll be over by the end of April, that shit was out the window. So to give you more of a kind of an idea of this, and I'm glad it kind of segued off because I wanted to use wrestling to kind of push into it, because wrestling is a microcosm of what's going on.
Right.
Is that at this point, Trump had put out a statement during one of his addresses where he basically said he was going to leave it up to the governors of when they decided to start opening this stuff up.
Right.
The governor of Florida immediately was like, oh, we're going to open the beaches back up.
And they're open right now.
And I think he opened them already.
Yeah, they're
he
open.
did, and it's going to wind up being another
It's gonna
freaking
start a
round
new
of this
wave.
shit, and it's going to get
It's
worse.
going to start a new wave.
Well, here's the thing about it. It's not going to be a new wave. It's going to be the same wave because up until that moment, they still had not started seeing decreases in cases. They also hadn't started seeing increases in recovery, and they haven't seen any decreases in death rates. literally right after he reopened the beaches, they got an update on the death, and they deaths went up by like 200 and something.
You just fucked me up, Franco, because
So
Yeah, I
because
seen
this
that.
is now you have
Hey, no,
just
the heat's
enlightened
not
to
gonna
me
kill
to
it.
what they're trying to do. They're trying to get it to spike. They want it to spike.
They're trying to force it to spike, and the problem is if you try to force something like this to spike, they're trying to force that stupid herd immunity shit, and it doesn't work. They were just talking about how New Zealand locked everything down as soon as possible. Look at New Zealand's numbers compared to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as they started talking about it's going to be a pandemic, New Zealand shut shit down. Their numbers are like microscopic compared to anybody else. And like,
Yep.
I live in one of the high risk areas. I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. The numbers are crazy in my county. Like, the deaths are almost to 2,000. You know, there was 150 new cases yesterday alone. They didn't even wait for, yeah, exactly. New Zealand didn't wait for one person to die. 0 people died before they shut the whole country for the fuck down.
All right.
Because they don't give a fuck about it.
So we got about 10 minutes, but
That's fast.
I feel like this is definitely something that requires an episode. I want to talk about this.
Yeah, because I got stuff to everybody got something to touch about when it
So-
comes to this.
Next episode, the Mighty J.A.D.E Empire podcast, we are going to discuss coronavirus. I'll make sure to put it out there. I'll spread the word. Hopefully, we can get an audience. We can get some.
Put
people in
a
the chat
huge
as well.
chunk of time out for that, because that's going to be a long
No, that's
time.
going to be an episode. It needs to be an episode, and I'm glad. I was going to ask everyone individually, but I'm glad I got everybody here, and I'm glad we all agree.
Is it doing that thing again where you can't hear anybody? Hold on.
I can
Tell True he better not be
No,
coming
in my
unless he's going
stream.
to show himself.
So yeah, like I said, we got 10 minutes, so I want to wrap this up. But that's going to be our next episode. We're going to talk about Corona. We're going to talk about Corona. I'll put some bullet points together, but we'll talk about how it was handled. We will talk about
Can you hear
our
him now?
government's response and how they've dealt with it. Hopefully we'll be in Discord so we don't have this issue. Yes, if it's in Discord, true. Yeah, we'll bring in, I want to bring in as many people as possible, and we're going to talk about this.
Make sure
Hopefully-
before Justin gets out, everybody joins Justin's Discord. Supply everybody with your Discord invite. You know how to do that?
Yeah, as soon as I'm done, I'm going to start doing that, and I'll get with you to figure out how to.
Just put your Discord in the chat.
Just put your Discord in the J chat, and everybody can click that link and join it.
Yeah.
And it should be good for at least 24 hours if you don't go in and mess with it, because the links.
Well,
unless
yeah,
you-
I put in the chat a minute ago.
Yeah.
I think so.
So
I'll put it-
everybody go in there. You're gonna get a request from me. My name is Nerdish on there because I'm going by Nerdish on everything. And then I can show Justin and Anthony and whoever else wants to know how to set up the video call like this in Discord, so you can capture it. And when you go to capture it on your stream, it's literally you're gonna have to do it as a display capture. So make sure you don't have anything else up on your desktop. You don't want nobody to see. So close all your porn tabs. You know.
Mike.
Close all them. Close all them
I can't have the big
DMs.
booty shaking Detroit girls up on there no more.
No, because you ain't getting me banned
And you ain't getting me banned either.
from Twitch. This is my livelihood right now, Mike.
All right.
Chris don't want to see big booty hoes.
Oh, they want to, but the people
Let's
on
see.
Twitch want to see it.
I want to, before we close it out, I want people to know where they can find everybody. Nerdish, where can they find you on the internet?
At twitch.tv/nerdishgirl. Instagram at nerdishgrill. Yes, that's grill because somebody stole my name and post nature pictures and it still pisses me off. I am at Twitter at nerdishgirl. Everything's nerdishgirl except for Instagram.
All right, Anthony, where can they find you at?
YouTube, and now your mama knows. Pretty much go there. Or Anthony L. Lewis on Facebook.
Franco, where can we find you at?
Franco Cochise Roberts on Facebook, Nitty Mac on Instagram, or at Nitty Mac on Instagram, at Nitty Mac on Twitter. I'm around. I'm on Spotify. Can't remember.
Cool. Eugene, where can we find you at?
Black Dragon 79 on Twitch and YouTube. eBigum79 on Instagram.
Mike, can we find you anywhere?
You can find me wherever the hole was at,
In the
man. Wherever the
bathroom.
hole was at.
You can find Mike.
Nah.
Wait, Mikey, how you talk about where the hoes at and you ain't never once come to my titty streams? What the hell's wrong with you? Come here.
Y'all can find me on Facebook, Mike Trammell, or y'all can find me on Instagram, Marvel Wonders.
Yes, expose. Hashtag expose, Melly.
Yeah,
They are exposed.
in the damn frame, Mike. Jesus.
I know,
I
right?
know,
We
he
barely
over
could
here
find you
also-
on the
Like
screen.
he cool
I
or
know.
something.
Because y'all need
Y'all want to
that.
see him beating off that bad?
No. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm
You're
DJ
just gonna
Justin
hear
Love.
this.
You can find me on all social media at DJ Justin Love on twitch.tv/DJ Justin Love. This has been the Mighty J.A.D.E Empire Podcast. The next time you see us, we'll be talking about the coronavirus. It's going to get serious in here.
Coronavirus!
It's getting real.
It's getting real.
And Marvel superheroes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for coming.
Thank you for watching the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And now, your mama knows.